Okay, after last week's review of the Muscle Madness program, it's pretty much time to get back into good old alternatives, better alternatives to the the AA cult. So now this week I'm going to pretty much reiterate the 4 points of the Smart Recovery program. Now you got with the with AA you got pretty much 12 steps to becoming a slave. This one you got pretty much 4 points pretty much moving on with your life. So first one is building and maintaining motivation. The second one is coping with urges. Three is managing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And four is living a balanced life. So for instance, we'll work backwards. With four, living a balanced life. Went over 2 or 3 weeks ago the lifestyle pie chart or whatever. So that's later in the book and everything. So as I flip through, if I can find it real quick and everything. So as I'm wasting time yeah lifestyle pie chart. This lets you pretty much rate where you're at and everything, on a scale from 1 to 10, and you'll have a not a perfect circle, but it kind of looks like a squiggly line with all the things that you value, and then okay, how do I balance it out and everything? Something because sometimes you might be pulling some overtime, oh man, that's too much and everything. I'm getting burnt out, so you need to pull back and balance it out and everything, and spend more time outside of work, getting into the hobbies and stuff and everything. So that's the fourth point. And now, of course, now we go back to the beginning, building, maintaining motivation. So for instance, you build and maintain a motivation. So building it is in a sense you start off listing all the things hey, look, this is the stuff I'm putting value on. Okay, I want my finances to be in order. I want to have better relationships. I want to take care of my physical health. I want with my mental health. I want to be able to clear mind and be able to better manage my emotions and stuff like that. And so usually the stuff that we put value on, getting drunk usually isn't most of the time, 99.9% of the time, getting drunk or getting high isn't necessarily on our value list if we want to actually continue bettering our lives. So that's in a sense building our motivation. Look at okay, what do I want out of life and everything, and then maintaining motivation. It's more about kind of building at least a modicum of discipline. Okay, I'm disciplined enough to maybe not go down the road to where the bar I would always go to home from work. I go down this one street. My bar that I would go to is right there. I take a side street and avoid the bar. So that's in a sense building the motivation by having the discipline, knowing hey, look, if I go down this road, I know I'm going to be tempted to go into that bar and start drinking again. So I'm going to take instead of keep going this way, I'm going to take a side road and then keep going, so I can avoid the bar altogether. To maintain motivation. Now coping with urges, the second point. You're going to get those urges oh man, I could really use a drink and everything. It's a lot of times it's that urge to drink. Okay, maybe it's Friday. I use the happy hour analogy. You're looking for that a stress reliever. Maybe you have a stressful week at work, and it's you're looking at for something to kind of in a sense take the pressure off that valve and release the pressure of build up the water, and then out of the faucet, and it comes dripping out. A better way to cope with that urge, instead of going again going down the streets you go to by your bar and taking a side street, maybe you take a different side street and you have yourself set up to go to the gym instead. So you use that as a coping mechanism to cope with your urges. And it's oh man, okay, I had a stressful week at work. Instead of going to the bar and getting drunk, well, you still have to deal with the stress and the turmoil and everything that you have to deal with at work the next week and everything. So getting drunk doesn't really solve the problem. By coping with that a healthy outlet like going to the gym, what you do instead is you're building up your physical health, getting yourself a healthy outlet for your mental health. You don't get drunk, and in essence you're not spending 3-4 hours sitting there getting completely wasted. You're only you're using an hour and a half, 2 hours like to get to the gym, do your workout, then you get take a shower and then get home. So you still have an hour left over after going to the gym to maybe pursue something else that you're into. So like you could be into like any hobbies. Like I use like a tabletop role playing games, trading card games, board games as an example. So you could once you're done working out, you then go to like a local gaming store and like check out whatever they have, and like a lot of times they have like a weekly, daily events and everything. So like I said, Friday 5 o'clock you get done, and then like you either hit the gym and then you get done at like 7. You can head to like the local gaming store, and like a lot of times like at least the ones that in my area do have like drafts for like Magic the Gathering, where like it's a type of event for that card game. So now, of course, if you're getting done at 5 o'clock, like you'd be kind of hard pressed to fit in a workout, then get there, because a lot of times the drafts start at like 6 o'clock. So what you could do is get your workout done before, and then that way, right after work, you could go straight to the draft and everything. And usually those last like a good 3, maybe 4 hours. So you're basically spending like your whole Friday night pretty much like socializing with like people, just playing a card game and everything, instead of like going out and getting drunk and everything, and like, oh hey look, well I'm socializing, I'm getting to the bar and everything. Like you're doing an unhealthy socializing with going to the bar versus a healthy socialization with like going to like the card game or going to the gym. Now you could take your pick, like I said, like you could go to the gym then add to an event afterwards, or you could do the gym before and like hit the socialize with the morning crowd. Like it all depends on like your schedule. Now if like you're someone like me who like works in manufacturing and works first shift, you get done at 3:30, it'd be relatively easy to hit the gym and then go to the event. So like I get done at 3:30, 2 hours, like it takes me 2 hours to get to the gym, get my workout done, take a shower, maybe like go to like a local like a non-chain food restaurant or whatever to pick up maybe a sub or like a sandwich or something to bring to the event and everything. I get there at 6 o'clock. I get into the event and everything, and I then spend my Friday night taking care of my physical health. I actually start engaging in healthy social activities and everything, instead of like going straight to the bar, getting completely drunk, and quite possibly, oh, I'm going to drive home because I know what I'm doing, getting a DWI, and then like maybe quite possibly having like face legal issues with all that, losing your license, or having to waste money and taking a taxi home, and then having to waste time Saturday morning when you're completely hungover, going to get your car, and then like you're already behind your schedule of getting other stuff you could get done to set yourself up for success the following week. Like stuff I've gone over before, like getting like in things like cooking and food prep, and like getting all your like errands on, like your cleaning, cooking, laundry, and like maybe any errands you have to do. So that's pretty much like a way you could, in essence, cope with urges. Now, like managing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. This is like where like professional help will come into handy. Like managing our thoughts, because like a lot of times like you get these irrational thoughts that like pop into your head, like, oh hey, I feel like I go to drink today or whatever. Like, wait a sec. That's not like a necessarily good idea. Like you get the tools and stuff further in this book to like help like manage those thoughts, which is kind of control your feelings. Like oh man, like I could use a drink or whatever. Now you start feeling like, oh man, like all the emotions start rushing in. Like yeah, it makes me feel good, at least initially, and then like but then like you got to remember, with manage those thoughts that lead to those feelings. Okay, well then afterwards, like yeah, I get hungover and I don't feel like I good when I get drunk and everything, and like I have to deal with all the negative consequences, and then you start running through those again, which leads to controlling, like in a sense, not necessarily controlling, but managing your behaviors. Like I said, like they're using like the example, instead of going down this main road where the bar is, taking one of the side roads to get to like wherever you're going. It's like maybe to the gym and or to any like event that you could go to that would be like a healthy outlet for you to like socialize. Like I used like going to like your local gaming store to go into like card games or whatever, like using Magic, like the draft style play to get into that and everything. So now I'm just using some examples on how you could go about it, and then like that does tie like all back into living a balanced lifestyle and everything. Because, for instance, like the example I used by going, going to like the gym and or local gaming store to get into the Magic the Gathering or something event or whatever. You get home, you're actually sleeping good, and you can get up at a decent time. You're feeling good about yourself on Saturday. You're already starting to set yourself up for success and living that balanced lifestyle, because now like you got work, you go into and getting stuff done outside of work on Friday. By the time you get home and get to bed and everything, and like get up the next morning or Saturday, you start off your weekend already ahead of the game, because now you can get up and like, all right, so then you can start thinking like, okay, now how do I get stuff done that maybe I couldn't do during the work week or whatever. It ties into living the balanced lifestyle, getting like all like the things that you need to do outside of work. Okay, well, I'm going to like maybe there's events on Saturday I go to, like with whatever I'm into, like again, using the Magic Gathering example, maybe take a part in something at one of the local gaming stores. I get some errands done and like cooking and cleaning, and then I have a day on Sunday maybe just to sit back and like chill before I start the next week and everything. So this is like getting back into like using examples and how you could use the 4 points to actually progress yourself to like get better in life, instead of like using the 12 steps, which is going to like in essence like basically shackle you into slavery to the AA cult and everything. Because like once you get into AA, like you realize you have to keep doing all this stuff, and like there's no way out of it and everything. Because if you leave, then like, oh, you're going to drink again, or you're going to end up in jail or in an institution, or you're going to end up dead or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that, like I just mentioned, that's not the way I live. Using these 4 points instead, like using the long-winded rant example that I used previously, that's kind of like sets yourself up for future success, instead of like getting trapped in like an endless loop of constantly feeling like you're the victim and becoming a slave to the 12 steps and everything. So here's like another one on how to use like at least the 4 points of the Smart Recovery program to, in essence, better your life.